Hey everybody, it is Gabriel again. It just started raining when I was going to cut this video, so I decided to pull over, and you may hear the rain hitting the roof, but I know it'll be good enough. The subject of this video I want to talk about is how to make mountains molehills. One thing that my wife and I have been doing lately, well, we've always done it, but not, and we've gotten better and better and better at it, but lately, I won't say lately, I'd say the last year, we have been very militant about targeting the goal that we need to reach, taking that number and whittling it down into months, weeks, days, hours. We look at what the hourly is and we say, okay, if we attack it at an hourly basis or at a daily basis or at a weekly basis, then by default, we're going to reach our number, our goal. Take weight loss, for instance, right? Let's say you need to lose 50 pounds and you look at the number and the number overwhelms you and you can't deal with it and it's too much, and you know, you do crazy things to your head. You go find weights at the sporting goods store and you try to lift them up and you think to yourself, I've got to lose this much weight, and it feels overwhelming. You go down the dog food aisle. I know people have done this. They've gone down the dog food aisle and tried to pick up 50-pound bags of dog food and say, this is what's attached to my body that I need to lose, and it feels like it's too much, and just crazy stuff, right? But they'll take it. When you apply this, people say, you don't understand, you don't understand. I'm not talking about you don't understand. I'm talking about eating the elephant one bite at a time. I'm talking about making the mountain a molehill. When you look at the mountain, you're overwhelmed. But when you reverse engineer and break it up into its smallest parts, for instance, what if you had 4 more large glasses of water a day, right? Most people don't drink a gallon of water a day. You know that, right? You're supposed to have half of your body weight in fluid ounces every day in water. Most people are having 5 Diet Cokes, 3 waters, 6 cups of coffee, or whatever. It's just not working, guys. Your body has to have it. So half of your body weight in fluid ounces, let's just take this for example. If you just added the water, right? I can't drink that much water. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Carry one of those things around you with a straw and you'll just naturally just drink from it all day long. And suddenly you go, oh my gosh, I've had a gallon of water today. And stop eating at 4:30. Why? Have your breakfast, your lunch, and early dinner. Stop at 4:30. Give your body that 14 to 18 hours of fasting, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 7 or 8 in the morning you're eating. Your body's had a chance to rest. Your digestive system has had a chance to do the things that it does miraculously. Your body's going into fat burn, right? It's eating up the carbs. And you've given your body that beautiful rest, that beautiful fasting, break fast. You're breaking the fast. And that simple implementation, done daily, will get you to your goal far faster than you think, my friends. Eating very late is not wise. It's not. Changes the whole game. And it's the same thing with, let's say a company needs to make an extra $250,000 this year. Okay. How are we going to get $250,000? And so they're, pushing on their salespeople and trying to figure out a way to cut costs and all of this. I'm talking about a small company, right, that needs to do that. And I always ask them, I say, well, can you do it yourself? Can you make the $250,000? Well, no, I can't. It requires, well, how does your company make the money? Okay, well, it requires these different departments or these 4 or 5, or if you have 10 employees, it requires them doing X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, well, take the $250,000, break it up in 12 months, take the 12 months, take it up, break it up into, weeks, and then take those weeks into days, and you break that up and you say, every day, X has to come in, and if X comes in, then by default you'll get there. How many people are working for you? Oh, 5. So now you take that X figure and you divide it by 5, and suddenly you realize that a simple added action, like the more water, like stopping eating at 4:30, suddenly creates the incremental, and then you reach your goal. I don't care if it's $250 million, it still works the same way. Oh, it does. And so many of you are paralyzed because you're looking at these mountains that are actually molehills in your life. And it could be any subject. It could be a relationship. I was talking to somebody recently about their kids, and they said, you know, my kids are just, you know, there's a pull away now from the parents. And I said, well, it didn't happen overnight. That's not just being a teenager. They didn't just have a chemical bath of hormones and suddenly they're acting like this. All of this behavior is a byproduct of stuff that wasn't done. When's the last time you spent 30 minutes with them just playing their video games? Playing a board game with them, having a conversation, having them cook dinner with you, asking them for help on a project. Say, hey, get in the car, let's go get something to eat. And those little moments of time, suddenly, if done regularly, the relationship is built back again. They're opening up, you're opening up. And these problems are not problems anymore because you added time in relationship. It's the same way with spouses, husbands and wives. I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of people have a lot of challenges. And like, now there's this big mountain and we don't know how to fix it. And I'm like, well, yeah, if you try to fix the mountain, you're not going to. You're going to have to reverse engineer. What can you do this hour, this day? And can you do, and will you do that this hour and this day for 3-4 weeks, 3-4 months, until you two just build each other back up again and get back on track? Behind all of the craziness and all the ugliness and all of the experiences and all of the words, y'all are madly in love. You would say maybe not. You might say you can't stand each other, but behind all of the mess, at one time there was a lot of love, and life was allowed to become priority. I still watch it today. I see it every time we're out somewhere in public. You always see people at a table miserable, looking at each other. Or they're not looking at each other, they're usually looking at the phones, or they're dead silent, or they're miserable, or they are watching this wait staff. Come on, give me a break. And they get back in the car, they don't talk. They get in the car, they don't talk. That stuff doesn't come up overnight. So any mountain was built from you ever wake up in the morning and look out in your yard and you see a giant anthill and you're like, oh my goodness, where did that come from? It looks like somebody literally just put it in the yard. The ants didn't put it in the yard. All night long, 5,000 ants added a grain of sand each to it, and they each added probably 100 grains apiece. 1,000 grains apiece, and all night long they did it, and you wake up and then you see the problem. It's the same thing. Anything that is in our way in life can be overcome if we reverse engineer it, compartmentalize it, and say, I'm going to attack this goal, I'm going to overcome this obstacle, I'm going to lose this weight, I'm going to reach this financial goal, I'm going to restore this relationship incrementally, one bite at a time. It is a beautiful thing to look at. I know people that are way back on their bills. How are we ever going to cover this bill? How are we ever going to handle this expense? It's the same thing. And when you do the math, do the math. Reverse engineer that thing. And you go, you've got to be kidding me. You mean to tell me? I had a conversation with a man one time. He had this particular financial goal. We reverse engineered all the math, and he realized, I think it was, I don't know, like $57 a day, something like that, added to his bottom line would have them reach that goal. And I said, well, what would it take for you to have $57 a day added to your bottom line? And he realized it was about just a few upsells. He already had the customers. Now it's just a few upsells. So they were mindful to do the upsells. The revenue was naturally added, and he got to his goal far quicker than he ever imagined. And it also trained the whole business. So the whole business elevated by just simply adding, hey, would you like this? We have this. I know you got this and this, but you know what? It's really delicious if you have one of these. There it is. And now the revenue was added, and that point of frustration became just a simple an addition fixed the problem. I hope this video is helpful. Listen to it a few times, let it get in your head. Become a master at reverse engineering every mountain in your life. It just makes it fun, because then you can look at the minuscule amounts when broken apart, and it's almost laughable. And you say, that I can attack, that I can conquer. Oh, you better believe it. That I got. Quit looking at the mountain. That's not what you need to tackle. You need to tackle it 1 ounce at a time, all right? You guys are a blessing. If you are following me on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I cut videos every single day. And if you're following me on the podcast, make sure you subscribe to that so you get notified as those pop up. All right, guys, you are a blessing. I will see you in the next video. Bye.